KHOU 11 News This Morning starts now.
Now at 4:30, a live look inside the rotunda where President George H.W. Bush lies in state today. A chance for America to say goodbye to the 41st president.
George and Barbara Bush made a lasting impact on people everywhere, and one Houston family knows that firsthand. We're going to hear their story and the legacy they share with the Bushes.
The late president making his love for trains known even after his death. We get a closer look at the locomotive that will carry his body to his burial in College Station. Good morning and thanks for waking up with us. I'm Lisa Hernandez.
And I'm Reka Motoraj. It is Tuesday, December 4th, and today President George H.W. Bush lies in state in our nation's capital.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Russ Lewis. That's why I am in Washington, D.C. this morning, just outside the U.S. Capitol, where the president's casket is in the rotunda there, where people are filing by to pay their respects. The city just starting to wake up here. It's 5:30, and we've seen some people coming in all night long to walk past that casket there in the Capitol Rotunda. Let's send it back over to Cheetah right now, get a look at our Houston forecast this morning. I'll see you back, Cheetah, in a couple of minutes with what's happening here in D.C.
Okay, we'll see in just a little bit, Russ. We are starting off this morning in the 30s and 40s, so that's about a 10-degree drop from yesterday morning at this time. So very similar to Russ, you need your coat here this morning, a little bit colder there. Temperatures 37 in Huntsville, 44 in Tomball, 47 in Pearland. Throughout the day, we'll at least warm up from here, but we're still only going to be talking 50s and a few low 60s by the afternoon. Here's that northeast breeze, and that's going to make it feel even a little bit cooler this morning. So again, jackets and coats throughout the day today, Doug. We keep it pretty chilly. We'll talk about our next rain chance coming up in about 6 minutes.
Okay, thanks, Cheetah. Looking around town this morning, no issues on any of your freeways, no construction, no crashes, so nice green roads for you heading in. 60 miles per hour on the Katy Freeway heading westbound near Beltway 8. This is a live look from TransStar. Traffic pretty light out there. It looks very breezy. You can see the big American flag at half-staff this morning along the Katy Freeway as you pass through the Energy Corridor. It's still looking good. Rush hour not here, but of course we will keep an eye on things. In the meantime, we'll send it back to Russ Lewis outside our nation's capital as we continue to remember President Bush.
All right, Doug, thank you very much. We are outside the U.S. Capitol this morning where our nation's capital, this city, prepares to say goodbye to the 41st President, George H.W. Bush. And we've seen so much activity here as we look live into the rotunda right now, and you can see the flag-draped casket there, guarded by members of the armed services. About 30 hours or so, that casket will lie in state in the rotunda. Anybody can line up to see it after going through security, walk past quietly, and then leave. It'll be opened throughout. It was open throughout the night and will stay that way until the funeral tomorrow. Last night, after the Bush family and the vice president and other dignitaries paid their respects in a ceremony here, we saw about 8:30 last night President Trump and First Lady Melania show up here to the U.S. Capitol, making the short drive over from the White House to pay their respects with their eyes closed for a few moments in front of the casket there. President Trump saluting and the First Lady with her hand over her heart. It was just a few moments, but again, the President and First Lady paying their respects to the 41st President as well. While the ceremony was going on inside with the Bush family and those dignitaries, the Vice President I mentioned, outside the Capitol, we saw hundreds of people lining up on a cold, windy night, wanting to be the first inside to pay their respects as well. And we walked through that line, my photographer and I, Mike Barbagallo, and we found a lot of Texans there, both natives living now in D.C. and others who had made the trip wanting to pay their respects. Here's what they said about why they showed up on a cold night to be the first inside.
I think he's one of the last presidents who was respected by the majority of the nation, and he was willing to reach across the aisle and actually make friends with his political opponents. I think you can kind of see that in the letter he left for Clinton when after losing the election to him.
I mean, he did it all, right? And just continued to serve until he just no longer could. And I think that's pretty awesome, pretty special.
And made Texas proud.
Absolutely. Absolutely made Texas proud.
And we heard that a lot last night as we talked to Texans, that they wanted to be there because George H.W. Bush made them proud to say they are a Texan. So that casket will sit there, as I mentioned, at least for 30 hours until it's time to move it for the state funeral tomorrow morning. And that'll happen at the National Cathedral, which is about a 4-mile trip here from the U.S. Capitol. So, and then of course it'll be back onto Houston and to College Station. That's where Sherman KHOU is this morning for us. She is in College Station on the campus of Texas A&M. And I know, Sherman, you've talked to a Houston family that's trying to carry on the Bush family legacy.
Yeah, they are indeed. The family is called the Bernices, and President Bush's legacy here at Texas A&M includes his School of Government and Public Service, and that vision is shared by that Houston family, who also shares the bond of a loss of a child. The Bernices have set up a scholarship at the Bush School in their son's name. The endowment now stands at $300,000. Michael Ryan died in 2010 in a hiking accident. The high schooler was unusually interested in politics, especially for a 14-year-old, and he was likely headed to Texas A&M.
A month before he passed away, he went to the Bush School and he went to the Bush Library in particular, and he just had such a fascination of the man.
President Bush's 1,000 points of lights particularly spoke to Ryan and his family. They have long been active in charity and church work, missions abroad. Eventually, the Bernices had a chance to meet Bush 41 because of that scholarship, and in part because of KHOU. Coming up in the next hours, we'll show you, we'll explain some of the emotional memories from that meeting with President Bush and share the heartfelt letters that the president sent to the Bernice family afterwards. Back to you.
Sherman Chow, live in College Station. Thank you so much. Bill and Hillary Clinton have canceled their tour stop in Sugar Land. They were supposed to speak at the Smart Financial Center today, but will instead fly to D.C. to pay their respects to President Bush. They have not yet set a new date for that Sugar Land event.
And here's a look at the plans for the rest of the week. President Bush will lie in state at the Capitol until tomorrow morning. Then a service will be held at the Washington National Cathedral. After that, his body will be flown back here to Houston, where he will lie in repose for public viewing at St. Martin's Episcopal Church. A private funeral will be held there Thursday, and then after that, his casket will be taken by train to College Station, where he'll be buried at his presidential library at Texas A&M. President Trump has declared Wednesday to be a national day of mourning. This means most federal agencies will be closed, including the post office.
President Bush's body will travel by train from Spring up to College Station on Thursday. We got an up-close look inside the Union Pacific locomotive 4141. It's painted to look like Air Force One and was commissioned for his presidential library back in 2005. It's being put back into service one more time.
This particular train trip, going from Houston to College Station for the final resting place, is a great opportunity for Texans and people all across the country to say their final goodbyes to this great man.
President Bush will become the 8th U.S. president to be taken by train to his final resting place. The last one was President Eisenhower. Here's a look at the route for Thursday. The train will leave Spring and travel through Tomball, Magnolia, and Navasota before ending its trip in College Station. We've got extensive coverage on our website, including a deeper look at the president's love of trains and life after losing his daughter, Robin. You can find that and more on our website, KHOU.com.
Hey, let's take a look at some of the other major headlines today, starting with the new details about the murdered Saudi journalist. CBS News reports CIA Director Gina Haspel is expected to brief a handful of senators today about U.S. intelligence related to the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. The CIA says the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia ordered Khashoggi's killing. The CIA has declined to comment on today's reported briefing. Lawyers for President Trump want adult film star Stormy Daniels to pay up. The Alaska federal judge for nearly $800,000 for Daniels' failed defamation lawsuit against the president. That total is a sum payback for the lawyer's time at nearly $390,000 and to discourage Daniels from filing other, quote, meritless lawsuits. The judge says he'll make a decision later.
The Rockets lost again last night. They fell to the Minnesota Timberwolves on the road. Things did look pretty good early on, tying the Wolves at the end of the first quarter, even rallying with a combined 55 points in that last half, but it wasn't enough. The Rockets lose 103-91. Up next, they'll take on the Utah Jazz on Thursday.
All right.
Man.
I know.
It's a rough season.
It's a rough season. It certainly is. All right, well, if you're waking up this morning, it's a little colder than usual. Got to grab those jackets, Cheetah.
Yes, we're tracking 30s and 40s this morning. 44 degrees, live look over downtown. So we're still under mainly clear skies. We have a few high clouds, north breeze around 9 miles per hour. So throughout the day today, we're still talking those steady winds. Now, compared to yesterday, we're starting anywhere from 5 to almost 10 degrees colder in most spots. So yeah, grab the jacket, grab the coat this morning. It is a chilly start to the day. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast, temperatures are going to continue to climb this afternoon near 60, but otherwise we're still going to be tracking pretty chilly temperatures. So on your 7-day forecast, we have big changes by the end of the week. Take a look at what happens here. 59 this afternoon. It is a breezy start to the day. 59 for tomorrow. Temperatures start to build as cloud cover starts to build. So by Thursday and Friday, increasing cloud cover means increasing temperatures. High temperatures Friday in the upper 60s, and that's probably just ahead of some of these strong storms. Friday evening, if you have any plans, I'm already setting the stage for some strong to maybe even a few severe thunderstorms late Friday night into early Saturday morning. And then after that, that's when temperatures really drop and our winds continue to pick up. So, Doug, another roller coaster with our temperatures, but as far as the rainfall goes, it's mainly Friday evening.
Okay, thank you, Cheetah. Looking to the maps this morning, nice green roads for you. No incidents in the main lanes. Zooming in onto the Katy Freeway, though, as you approach the 610 West Loop, we have a stalled big rig. This is at Bingle, so look out for the flashing lights there. Not in the main lanes, it's on the side of the road. Looks like it's on the right-hand side. A couple of trucks there stopped, so working to get those out of the way. Looking to your drive times overall on the Katy Freeway, Pin Oak to downtown right now, 31 minutes. About what you'd expect for this time in the morning. Still pretty light traffic conditions out there. 290, 249 also moving nicely, 65 miles per hour. Looking elsewhere, coming in from the north side, Hardy Toll Road, I-45, both looking good. No issues getting to either of the big airports this morning. Lisa, Reka?
Okay, Doug, thank you.
Time now is 4:41. There's been an outpouring of love and support for President George H.W. Bush's service dog, Sully. And when one article claimed the love is unwarranted, the social media reaction was swift.
The couple tasked with recording the love story of George and Barbara Bush, well, they have a romantic story all their own.